What's up, man? Cool Water, the digital dope man here with another episode in the Ballroom Chats podcast, where we discuss topics in the area of entertainment, politics, business, culture, education, and health. It's the Ballroom Chats podcast, where you can find us on Spreaker, SPREAKER.com. You can also look for us on iTunes. Preferably, I think it's under Cool Water Tracks, Google Play, Ballroom Chats, or Cool Water Tracks. And take hold of what we starting to dish out. So I wanted to jump on here, spit a little juice, as they say. Because it's a lot of chaos going on. It's a lot of nonsense happening as we speak with the crisis that's been going on as a result of the impacting health issue in the global economy and the world. So let me adjust this little bit of music real quick. Don't be too loud. We want to take a quick minute, and I just felt like I had to get on the mic a little bit real quick. So things are heating up in America. Everybody been kind of sent home, laid off work. Some folks let go from work. The economy is steadily tanking. The economy is tanking. And so goes health and your mental state of mind as the nonsense continues to increase. The topic of this podcast is mental stability in troubling times, which is really going to be the key to most of you all's success. How well can you maintain your mental stability during a period of crisis? Because it's not necessarily going to get easier. It may, as they say, do quantitative easing on the financial part for a period of time after they run through a series of tests. So, as of right now, most of businesses inside restaurants, sports bars, clubs have been closed. And most people are, at this point, boredom is setting in, because now you got to do what most of you all don't want to do and never have wanted to do, which is sit down and actually deal with you. Mentally focus on you. Get inside yourself and find out who you are. Do you understand? That's what's really going on at this present moment in time. So boredom is setting in. And most of you saying, well, what am I going to do with myself? I see people talking about they have birthdays, and due to the fact that they can't celebrate, most of them try to come up with some creative way to entertain themselves. But as the mental stability, as the crisis that's looming in the world and in America continues to unfold, a lot of people are going to begin to lose their mental state of mind. Hence, New York, right at this present moment in time, people are starting to show out because Trump has sent the National Guard or whatever military there to keep people from leaving to spread the virus or any other illness to other parts of the country. So people are starting to freak out because they want to leave. They don't want to be locked in, boxed and locked, if you will. But none of this is new. All this stuff has been talked about many, many moons ago. People have written books on the coming issue that was going to evolve in America with the Illuminati and the global elitists and so on and so forth. So none of this is new. Many of you who are not conscious or woke, as they like to call it, you're going to freak out. You're going to lose your mind because you haven't been in the workshop of the mind, or what we all call worship. You have not been in the worshiping phase, getting mentally prepared for the evolving Holocaust crisis that is looming over the heads of many of us. It's very important now that a lot of you start to tap in to your inner self. I got a lot of friends, or a few friends, that I've tried to introduce to their zodiac sign, right? Becoming more in tune with that, because that will lead them to understanding themselves so that they can be equipped in dealing with certain issues. And when they come into that confrontation, they know what to do, how to do, when to react, not to react. So because a lot of them are not really conscious, they're aware of certain social issues, but they're not conscious and vibrating on a higher frequency. It's not right quite now resonating with them why they should be studying their zodiac. God didn't make no mistake. Everybody came in on a specific longitudinal, latitudinal degree up under a specific sign. And out of that, you were given certain attributes, characteristics, energies that allow you to be able to deal with certain things on a particular level. So, them, like many others, will begin to freak out and become emotionally enthralled in the nonsense. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not without emotion, but I'm learning to check my emotions and become more mentally stable. And that's one of the main things that we have to really get into, is how do you become mentally stable in troubling times? And one of the things that I've always said, well, let me go back. Many years ago, when I first hit Atlanta, I was really on the quest to do the rap. You know, I was rapping. I was out there in the street. I was really going for it, getting my name known, not really knowing what I was doing, but I was following the plan that we had laid from being in college. And a lot of anxiety started to set in. A lot of mental instability started to set in because I wanted to be famous and rich in the same sense. So I'm experiencing a lot of anxiety, stomach bubbling, can't hold food down, can't sleep at night, just hoping and praying that something was going to give. But mentally, I got caught up in the fame of being famous and the anxiety that came with that. So there starts my health chronicles, because I went to an iridologist, and the iridologist looked in my eyes and she told me I had the gene for diabetes, and she told me some other stuff. Then from there, I went to an acupuncturist, and he went through the process of pulling out a match and testing my toes, which was connected to all the organs in my body. And I found out I had a weak kidney because the match would not burn that particular toe. I couldn't feel no pain, but that was a weak kidney. So as time went on, I started to learn and dabble and find out, well, what was causing my health issue? Because I had postnasal sinus drip too. So I couldn't hold down no food. I'm vomiting. So I'm acidic and didn't know it. Do you understand? And there I began to dabble into the holistic side. So I started to take something called St. John's wort. And that St. John's wort started to keep me calm. My body would flush and jerk and contract like it wanted to be under anxiety, but the St. John's wort wouldn't let it. Then I took something called slippery am, and that would keep the acid off my stomach down, keep the acidity in my stomach down. So I'm coming into the knowledge now. I'm getting smarter. I'm getting wiser, but I'm still going through my various stressful periods because I wanted to be famous. You understand what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that kind of took me through my process. But then as the years progressed, I began to get a little more savvy, a little more wiser. Then I started to pick up books. I started to read and started to really calm my nerves because now I had the understanding and the knowledge to be able to solve my problems. So how do you deal in troubling times, in a crisis? You got to get a hold of them herbs, man. You got to get a hold of them teas that will relax you mentally and emotionally so you don't freak out, so you don't snap and you don't become so emotional that you make bad judgments. Then you got to read and you got to deal with certain things that will allow you to be able to reach for the reach for the solution of the problem without going through a specific period of unrest. Because we don't know how long this stuff really gonna last. We don't know how long Trump and them gonna play their game. We don't really know how long all these people gonna do what they do because they got the controlling hand of the economy. And we're talking about globally and domestically. But you got to be able to weather the storm because the storm might go for 10 years. It might go for 20. This may never end. If the elitists, the international bankers, and the one percenters have their way, you're going to be enslaved with a microchip in you, working under their jurisdiction, living under color of law, living under de facto forms of government. You understand? This is where it's going. This is the book of Revelations. This is the mark of the beast time. And you got to be mentally stable and strong and understand that you might have to fight. You might have to really forego some of your fantasies and wishes just for the mere ability to stay alive. Because these people that's controlling everything ain't interested in your well-being and your welfare or your family's well-being and welfare. You see? So, not to be long-winded, because I don't want to stay on here long, but it's certain things that people gonna have to do. And one of those things is understanding how to calm your nerves so that you become relaxed and you don't overreact and you don't get real emotional if you can't get in the bank that day. See? If you ain't got access to the bank or you got to stand in line to get to the ATM machine, realizing that you're going to have to do, breathing meditations, realizing that you're going to have to read, realizing you're going to have to tap into them herbs, realizing you're going to have to take them vitamins, realizing you're going to have to drink a certain amount of water. They finna put the 5G on us. So now we got to get ready to protect our energy fields and our internal organs, because the frequency and radiation of 5G is vibrating at such a high frequency that it's damaging and causing the blood to become toxic and the cells in the body to become overheated, and they're trying to fight back. So it's causing people to pass out. It's causing people to die. It's causing people to have, extreme dizzy spells and folks end up in the hospital. We got to become proficient in understanding how to protect yourself against those that are not interested in your well-being. You feel me? It's Cool Water, man, the digital dope man. Check me out at ishiphopdead.com. Look for me at the website, thedigitaldopeman.com. And just remember, All this was prophesied many millennials ago, before we ever got on the planet. So there is a solution, and there will be someone who will rise with the solution to solve the problem. Might be some bloodshed. Don't be alarmed. Don't get fearful. Death is inevitable for all of us. At the end of the day, you know, your spirit lives on. So there's nothing to concern yourself with. Just learn how to take care of you and your family and your friends and your circle. And if everybody do that, then we will prevail in the end. Peace. Holla. Stay blessed.